Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of solving rate problems. This is standard 7.4D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 38 off the 2021 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and then we will look at our answers together. So we have a recipe for fruit salad, and it includes 1/3 cups of grapes. That gets you 4 servings, so we need to figure out how many cups of grapes. Unknown gets you the 30 servings. Well, there's two different ways that we can solve this. Let me show you both. First, if you want to, you can just use your standard equation for rate change, y equals kx. So let's take a look at this x. So this x is your independent variable. That's what gets things started. And so what gets us started here? Well, we started with 1/3 of a cup of grapes because that's turned into 4 servings. So that's going to be my x. So I'm going to kind of flip these two right here so that I get my x is going to be my 1/3, and then I'm going to kind of put my k over there. Now our k, that is our constant. So that's the change. The constant of proportionality is really what we're looking at here. And so that's what we're going to do to our 1/3 in order to get us our y. Our y happens to be our dependent variable. So this always changes depending on what we start with x and then what we do to it with k. So after we did something to this 1/3 cup, it turned us into 4 servings. So that's going to be our y's, our 4 servings. So how do we isolate this variable? How do we get this k by itself? Well, normally we would divide, right? But we've got a fraction right here. We've got a 1/3. So we need to think reciprocals, right? So we need to think 1/3 times 3, or 3 over 1, right? That's going to get you 3/3. That's going to get you 1, which makes it disappear. That's what we're looking for. So really, we just multiply both sides by 3. Normally, we would divide, but since it's a fraction, let's multiply both sides by 3. That's going to leave k by itself, and that's going to say k equals 12. All right, so that's our constant. So now we can apply that to this new situation right here. We can say how many cups of grapes, that's x, right? So we need to know our x is unknown. We know our k is 12. And then the servings, remember that's our y, that's our 30. So we're looking for this x right here. Now we can go ahead and divide both sides by 12. So 30/12, that's improper, but let's see if we can reduce it. Looks like 6 is going to go into each of those. So that's going to be 5/2. So we need to divide that up, right? So 2 goes into 5 twice. That's going to be 4. 1 left over. So it looks like 5/2 equals 2.5. So that's going to get us h. Now I said there's another way to do this. You might have saw this with proportion. You saw 3 numbers. You saw the 1/3 cups of grapes. You saw the 4 servings. It is a little bit strange to have a fraction within a fraction, but just roll with it. And then we got cups of grapes. So, right, we've got our unknown here over 30 servings. And so we just do a little cross multiplication, right? So 1/3 times 30 equals 4x. So 1/3 times 30 is 30 over 3. So that's really just 10. 10 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4. And guess what you're going to get? You're going to end up getting the same thing. 10/4. Let's reduce that by 2. 5/2. Does that look familiar? Yep, because that's where we ended up. And then ultimately we make that into a mixed number that is 2 1/2. So either way you solve it, your answer is H.